Hey, Tyler Price here. Today I have my new friend Nathan Hansen in the 67 Bug, and we're just going to cruise around and talk about some of the cool stuff he does. He's a auto mechanic, he's a farmer, he's an inventor out of necessity, and I think that's where invention comes from for the most part, right? But you're, and I could talk about farming all day. I find it fascinating, the idea of farming, not the actual doing the work of it, but the idea of farming. But tell me about auto mechanic. How did you decide to go down that route of first off becoming an auto mechanic?
Well, it's kind of in my blood. It's in my family's blood. My uncle was an old-time mechanic grew up on the family farm. We've been there a long time, and I just wandered over to his shop and talked to him and look at the cars. And I bought a set of tools when I was like 10, just a little set, and it's just something I love to do.
So from age 10, you were in and around it, kind of working even at some level then?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So what were the tasks they'd have you do?
Well, I wasn't really much help, so it just was more of...
You were in the way.
I was in the way. Questions.
Yeah.
Hey, I stripped this bolt out. What do I do?
Yeah, so you were causing problems, in the way, but you learned, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
And then along your journey, you have a shop out there on your land then. This Rogue comes in, which is a Nissan Rogue, a smaller SUV, and it has an issue. And so describe the issue and then ultimately how you came to understand that the Rogues from what, 2014 to 2020, is that what you said?
Yep.
All have the same issue. So okay, go ahead and talk about that. So
yeah, so I ended up with my own shop eventually. I work better by myself. I don't really fit in a shop all that well. And part of the reason I can do things the way I want to do them.
Yeah.
And do things for people that, you just can't always in a big shop. And I had a customer come in, the 14 Rogue. There was no heat on the driver's side. There's little motors that, run the doors for the heat. And it's common for them to go out to brake. And I thought, that's all it needs probably. Took it apart. Found some damage in the heater box where the motor connects to that blend door.
Right.
I thought, I don't know how we fix that. I ended up kind of patching it to get her by, and I was thinking about it. 3 months later, my mom's car,
same car, right? Same, maybe not the same year, but same car. Right?
Yeah, it was an 18, but
right.
Exact same heater box and everything. Exact same problem, and I thought, well, this is a pattern failure. And the first one I had fixed quit working again. I thought, well, there's got to be a way to do this. So, and I have a plastic welder. I love to invent and tinker. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And
me too.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, we're gonna show you something when we get back to the shop. So anyway.
Sweet. So I used my plastic welder. I made some pieces to fit in there, and I thought, well, I've done it. This is cool. So I was gonna do that and sell that. And I thought, well, it's gonna take me a long time to plastic weld these. I need to probably get them manufactured, so I started looking at that. And, well, it's going to cost a lot of money. Maybe look at a patent, try and put this all together. Long story short, 9 months later, I had installed this in the 2 vehicles, and I took one of them apart, and it was worse than ever.
Yeah.
It failed. It was not working. I thought, oh no. So I got doing some more looking at it, deep dived into it. Found out the problems with the plastic, how to fix it. Came up with a way to fix it permanently.
Yeah. So it's just this connection where plastic rubbing on plastic, or what was it rubbing on? Yeah,
there's 2 plastic joints, like a shaft and a bore that go together.
Yeah.
And the plastic's really strong. It just is really abrasion prone.
Yeah.
So basically, any movement, any rubbing causes that plastic to eat away. And then the other problem is when they injection molded those doors, when the streams of plastic came to the end of the mold where that bore is, they didn't quite knit together very well.
Right.
So they actually crack and split apart. So part of my fix will address that and hold it together, along with eliminating that problem.
Yeah. So then this really is a problem that the Nissan Rogue has, and so you called up Nissan and said, hey, maybe you should do a recall, and this is how you fix it. And I don't know that you said that, but you called Nissan to say, hey, I have a fix for this, and their response was,
we have our engineering department, we don't really want to talk to you, we use our own parts.
yeah.
And I figured that's kind of what I expected, but I gave it a shot.
But if someone were to take their Rogue to a dealership or to a mechanic for that matter, what is the price range to fix this thing that's common in the Rogue?
I've heard of some independent shops around $2,500, $2,800. Most dealers are over $3,000. I've heard as high as $5,400.
Yeah, so somewhere between $2,800 and $5,400 to get this fixed, or they could buy a kit with instructions from you, and you sell different versions if people want different things, right? And that runs from $350 to $400 roughly.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And you've had people that really don't have a lot of maybe mechanical or automotive experience be able to do it then.
Right.
Yeah.
My biggest thing when I buy something, especially if I pay a lot of money for it, I like to have clear instructions. I like to know exactly how everything is. And so my instructions are detailed to the hilt. I mean, they're so detailed. I had mechanics like, well, we didn't need it that detailed, so I have a simpler version for that.
Yeah.
So I have 3 sets in.
So you have 3 sets of instructions depending on someone's level of expertise. So that's cool. Yeah, there's a joke that I kind of like where an engineer and a tech were on a firing range with a rifle that the engineers had made, and they're testing it, so they shoot it and it doesn't hit the target, and then they make some adjustments and the tech's down there on where it gets shot, you know, and they shoot it again, it doesn't hit anything, make some adjustments, shoot it again doesn't do anything, puts his finger in the barrel, fires it, blows his hand off, and then looks down at the tech and says, everything's good on our end, the problem's down on your end. So don't you feel like that's kind of the case in engineering and techs, like specifically the auto tech? I mean, it's hard to work on new cars. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, the new cars are just getting harder and harder. A lot of the software is becoming more and more proprietary. You need a special tool for almost anything.
Yeah.
And then they can't just make it simple anymore. I mean, some cars, it takes 2 computers to fire the horn.
Yeah. Which I know John Deere's gone through a lot with the farmers. I don't know, do you use John Deere on your farm?
Yeah.
And John Deere was the brand, but lately those farmers hate those guys. Like, you can't make this thing work and blah blah blah. So, but you figured out a fix to something that the company, again, their response was, oh, we have engineers, so the problem's on your end, not on our end, right? And someone with a Rogue, and this isn't uncommon for manufacturers of, I mean, there's a lot of components and a lot of moving parts, and they have made it more and more complex for reasons, right? And more on the engineer side than on the technician side, or those reasons kind of are there, right? But anyway, so how long you been doing this?
So we got everything finalized, got the website up in September of 24.
Okay.
I've been working on it since the end of 2022, basically.
Yeah. So you started saying, hey, this is a problem. How many Nissan Rogues fall within the date or the years that would need the repair done?
There's about 2.2 million in North America.
Yeah, in North America. So Canada, United States, all these Rogues are at some point probably going to fail, or maybe people just put up with the fact that I live in a warm climate, so I don't need a heater blowing on me, right? I mean, that could be part of it too, but
that happens.
Yeah. So then how are people finding you now? Like, what are the ways in which you're getting the word out to, hey, I got a fix. It's more than 10 times cheaper to use your fix a lot of times than if you were to take it to a dealership. So how do people find you?
So I've been on I started with forums online. There's Nissan forums where people fix their own stuff, learn about their stuff. They're fans of the Nissan. Our website, obviously, and we've done things to make it more searchable. I'm on social media. I'm not a big social media guy, but I've been on.
Me neither.
Yeah,
You've got to be in business. If you have a business, unfortunately, that's where you have to be, and you have to put stuff out there, and then people are going to take their shots at you and everything, and yada yada. But yeah, it's at this day and age, if you're, and if you don't run a business, you're on there for fun, I guess. But But yeah, I look forward to the day when I can delete my social media.
Right?
So, yeah.
Me too. Amen.
Yeah. So what is the website? Nissan crappy Nissan Rogue fix.com.
I was so careful that I used the Nissan name.
Yes. Probably a good idea.
Yeah, so I didn't even use the Rogue name in it for that reason.
Yeah.
I did get some legal advice, but it's renegadesolutionscompany.com.
Renegadesolutionscompany.com.
Yep.
When it should have been fixmyfreakingrougeheater.com.
Right.
Well, cool. So now you're turning a wrench, and you like turning a wrench because sometimes the mechanics go to school to be able to be field reps and more tell the wrench turners what to do, right? But you've got away recently from turning the wrench and really focusing more on this. I mean, there's a lot of them out there that could potentially be clients, right?
Yeah, this has been a real big focus of mine, and then my kids have been able to help out a lot, and they've had a lot of fun putting this together and shipping stuff out.
Yeah. So you do fulfillment and everything then?
Yeah, I do it all ourselves.
Wow, that's impressive, because that can be a nightmare.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without them. They've been invaluable. And
just wait till your kids strike. They say, Dad, we're going on strike, and then you're, no, they would never do that, right?
Oh, never.
So then you're gonna do this. Do you have other things that because you mentioned you like to tinker and plastic welding? I mean, people probably, well, what do you need plastic welding? Because plastics don't always like to go together if they're not the same plastic, right? So anyway, so what other projects have you messed around with that you really like?
So I've had a few tools that I've put together that I thought were pretty neat, and most of them, you know, I've bounced them off a few companies and whatever. Most of them are like, oh, that would never sell, you know, people wouldn't use that.
Yeah.
Tools got to be really dialed in, really easy to use, and effective.
Yeah.
And I did even have one of those, but it saves spark plugs, the coating on spark plugs. And the company was like, well, most mechanics don't care about that. And I was like, well, I guess so.
You should talk to most mechanics and see, because it's interesting again that these companies would, well, we didn't think of it, so it's got to be a bad idea. It's almost what they're saying, right? To me, that's what they're saying. It's like, Nissan, again, a great product, right? They have great cars, but you know, that's a problem. But our engineers they re-engineered it after what, 6 years of doing it wrong. They re-engineered it, so now it's not a problem, right? So and farming, again, it's going to come back to farming if I get an opportunity. So primarily spuds, or what are you guys farming?
Yeah, so my family's farmed potatoes since forever. We've been out where we're at since the 40s.
Yeah, wow.
And with the neighbors, I mean, my great-grandpa and them broke sagebrush and put in some of the first sprinkler irrigation out there. And through the generations, we've been working together. And me and my best friend Brian, we kind of got out of it for a while. He got back in, and then he got me back in. So I'm just doing potatoes, but they also do some grain.
Yeah.
My dad still does hay and a little bit of cattle too.
And then who are you? Oh, really? Because cows pricing is through the roof right now, right?
You know, I don't follow as well as I should.
Yeah, you should.
It's up and down, I know that.
Yeah, because it's like, you look like a genius when you're selling these cows for big money, and then you don't look so smart when any of the things tank. But so then spuds, who are you selling to? Just the big warehouses, or?
Yeah, there's a couple warehouses. We do a lot with Idaho Pacific.
Yeah.
And there's, I mean, obviously it's Idaho, so there's a good market.
Yeah.
They get shipped all over.
Yeah. No, there was a friend that would do, and I don't know how many acres he did, but he would do fundraisers. So they would go directly to, let's say, athletes or teams that were trying to fundraise, and he would sell them bags and boxes of potatoes that they would then go sell for $20 for a box. And so then you go out, you plant. Tell us about the process of first off, if you have a Nissan Rogue, you got to look up Nathan Hansen. But I just like talking about farming stuff because I'm in a farming community, right? So tell us the process. So you plant the seed, which are little potatoes, right?
Yeah, we actually we got to procure the seed. You can't just plant any potato.
Right.
And we cut our own, so they come you know, and they're not real big, but they still need to be cut.
So you cut them, and then that's what you're throwing out in the field, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Precisely.
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 Yeah. I make it sound like there's no thought to it. You just cut this potato up and chuck it out there. But yeah, it goes down a certain depth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like cars are more complicated.
Yeah.
To make money in agriculture, you've got to be pretty precise.
Yeah.
Anymore, so.
Yeah. And then you water.
Yeah, the water's got to be just right.
Yeah.
Water all summer. You know, fertilizer's got to be just right. Got to watch for pests and weeds and disease.
Nematodes.
Stuff like that.
We don't have nematodes here, right? Or do we?
There's none whatsoever.
They're all down in Blackfoot and Shelley, right?
That's exactly right.
But yeah, then harvest. So before you harvest, you quit watering.
Yeah, they got to be dead for a certain amount of time if you're going to store them for a long time. Or
Right.
if you're going to the supermarket, the skin's got to be really set before you touch them.
Right. So when you pull it out of the field, when you're saying that the skin has to be set, what's the skin like then?
So we do a lot of process potatoes. So they get processed. The skins don't matter as much.
Okay.
So they're kind of flaking off.
Right.
If they're going to the store, they're coming out of the ground. They look like what you'd see in the store when they come out of the ground.
Yeah. No, and I find tinkering and building stuff is cool, but then I also find that farming, and I do sprouts and microgreens, so it's not really true farming, but it's still a farming element. And I do kefir, and yeah, well, that's good to know. So your dad is running some cows right now?
Got a little bit.
Yeah.
Not as many, but
Yeah.
a few still.
Yeah, my friend sold all his off because he said, price is right. And anyway, he gave me some ribeyes that my granddaughter really likes, and she pretty much ate over half of my ribeye. And then she wanted another one. I had to go to Winco, and it was almost $18 for this one ribeye, and it did not. Now, she didn't know the difference, but it was not as good. So anyway, I'll get us way off topic, obviously. So Nathan, anything other than what we've talked about that you want to say, hey, don't forget about this, or anything else you want to say at this point?
I just appreciate all the support, and the community here has been great.
Yeah.
We live in a great area.
Yeah, we do.
Got a lot of great businesses here, and it just couldn't be better.
Yeah. Well, thanks for driving around the bug, sharing your story, just noticing, hey, there's a problem, and figuring out a solution. And it takes time. Like, you were into it 2 years, and now you got a viable product that at least 2 million people probably need at some point, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Tyler. This is Nathan. If you want to talk auto stuff, he's your guy. You want to talk spuds, he's your guy. You want to talk microgreens, I'll chat with you about that. But anyway, we're gonna sign off, and thanks for riding around the bug today.
Nice.